Alright, what's going on everybody? This is Sparkle Fresh and I'm back doing another golf lesson for the golf club. Today we're going to be talking about driving the golf ball. I'm going to start off by talking about why driving is so important. I don't know if you guys have heard the statement, or probably if you're into golf whatsoever you have, but it's drive for show and putt for dough. Now, when it comes to playing golf in a video game, there are different variables that you have to take into consideration. So driving in a golf game is actually going to be a little bit more important than driving in real life. And the reason that's going to be is because of the physics of other aspects that they add into the game, like fairway sand traps and the rough. It is a lot more difficult to hit out of the rough in the video game and out of the sand in the video game as it is in real life. Fairway sand traps for me in real life aren't that big of a deal. Unless there's a ridge or a slope in front of my ball, I can get it out. I can usually hit it on the green, and a lot of times I can get it up close and have a good chance for a birdie. And same with the rough. You're just going to have to deal with the ball bouncing a little bit differently, and possibly a little bit more roll. I mean, there's a lot of factors, but when you're playing these video games, they penalize you heavily. The sand trap physics in this game are just awful. I mean, it's an unfortunate thing because I haven't really played a golf video game so far that has got them correct. But if you hit it in a sand trap in the middle of the fairway here, the ball's not going to roll through the sand 99% of the time. And you're only going to be able to hit it 40 to 60% of your total yardage, which is just crap. So, avoiding those situations is really going to be key to scoring, because when you're in the fairway, it's going to be a lot easier to hit the green. It's going to be a lot easier to make a birdie. So with that being said, I just picked a random course. I'm going to go ahead and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get an overview. All right, I see we have a dog leg to the right. The fairway narrows at about the 150-yard marker. So the first thing that pops into my mind is that this might be a hole that I want to play it safe on. The reason I say that is because there's more fairway at 250 yards and in. And the fairway from 250 yards and out and 250 yards and in, the fairway is a lot more narrow, and we're going to be cutting across from it. So being able to hit that part of the fairway is going to be a little more difficult, and to be honest with you, I don't know if it's worth it. It's the first hole. We want to get off to a good start, and 400 yards isn't very long. If you hit it 250 yards, you're going to have a 150-yard shot into the green, which is really easy. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up and look, because it might be worth it depending on what we got going on up here. So we see we have a couple really tall trees in our way, which is something that we definitely don't want to deal with. And then we come look at the undulations in the fairway around us. It's kind of like an inverted controller. So there's lots of hills, lots of undulations. It's something that I just don't trust. So I'm going to go ahead and decide to play it safe. And that's going to be tough for a lot of people to do, is to kind of dial it back. But I'm going to tell you, if you want to score better, if you want to make more birdies, you're going to have to learn to, suck it up and do stuff like this. So if I hit a 3-wood, I notice the wind is blowing at our backs at about 11 miles an hour southwest, or to our right a little bit. So this might actually be too much club. If you're going to play it safe, you want to play it safe, that wind is going to carry the golf ball quite a ways. So let me come check this out one more time. Yeah, honestly, I think if I come down one more club, it will actually put me right in. See that little tiny tree right there, that little bush that's on the right side of the fairway? I think it'll put me right around that region, and that's going to be absolutely perfect. So I'm going to make sure that I aim, I would say, to the left of this tree. I'm just going to let the wind do the rest for me. Make sure you have a good controller position, controller stable, and then just trust yourself and take the best swing that you can. Alright, now if everything goes according to plan, absolutely perfect. So now we should have about 150 yards into the green, and we set ourselves up for success, and we got ourselves off to a really great start. I'm going to go find another hole to show you guys, and I will be right back. Okay, so we're back, and this is going to be the second hole that I'm going to be doing right now. It's actually the fourth hole, and this course is a little bit challenging, which is fun. But first thing we're going to do again is we're going to come get an overview of the hole so we know exactly what you're looking at. You never want to skimp on these steps because they're really important. Unless you've played a course, you know, a ton of times, you're always going to want to kind of assess what's going on. So it's a pretty short hole. Lots of sand. The fairway kind of bottlenecks towards the green. And we notice around the 250 mark there is a fairway trap. So even playing it safe with a 5-wood or a 3-wood isn't necessarily going to work out into your favor as much as you would like. So let's come up here and take a look and see what's going on. Alright, so there's a little bit of undulation in the fairway, which is also important because you have to think about when the ball's above your feet or below your feet, it's going to affect your next shot. If the ball's above your feet, it's going to shoot off to the left, and if it's below your feet, it's going to shoot off to the right. So these are always things to think of. Now, if we decided to go for it, we would basically end up in and around this region right here. And to be honest with you, with the amount of wind that is blowing, I think that it might be more worth it on a hole like this to actually pull out the driver and go for something. And the reason I say that is because if you make a mistake and if you hit it in the sand trap or if you hit it in the rough, it's not going to penalize you as much on a very short shot. Shorter shots with you know, sand wedges, lob wedges, 8 irons, 9 irons, they're a lot easier to make good contact and hit the proper distance than it would be a 5, a 4, or 3 iron, and so forth. So on this one, I'm actually just gonna take a little bit of a risk here. I want to come up on the right side of the fairway because the wind is still blowing off to my right. It's a little bit downwind a little bit. But I'm going to add a tiny bit of elevation here just to get a little more distance. That way we can get down there a little bit farther. Because right now, hitting in the fairway is definitely something that I want to do, but it's not my main goal. Hitting it down as close to the green as humanly possible is my main goal. So I have to take into account for the winds. I'm going to come up to the right side up here, and once again, make sure everything's set up properly, and just try to hit a straight shot. Let the wind do the rest. And just sit back and hope that whatever you did works out in your favor. So we hit that little bottleneck. Even if we would have missed that shot though, we would have been alright. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But having a 45-yard pitch shot on this hole is going to be a lot easier than having to hit a full shot. Because a full shot, when there's a lot of wind, the wind will actually affect the ball a lot more. That's going to have to get down a little bit. There we go. Not bad at all.
Nice.
So as you can see, driving is really going to be the key to success. I suppose I can continue on talking, doing more holes, but I don't really think I need to. I don't want to sit back and tell you exactly how to play golf. I want to give you kind of the fundamentals so you can know how to think and you can create your own golf shots. Because that's really what's going to make you a good golfer. You know, sitting back and trying to mimic somebody else isn't the key. Understanding exactly what it is you're doing, that is going to be the key to scoring. So just try to remember, if you take anything with this, being in the fairway is the most important thing. It doesn't matter if you have to hit a driver, a 3-wood, a 5-wood, a 3-iron, a 5-iron, it just doesn't matter. Get the ball into the fairway, avoid sand traps, avoid the rough, and you will be on your way to scoring, playing better, and just having more fun when you play this. Nobody likes to have to play to the rough or the sand traps all day long. So if you guys, like I've said before, if you guys have any more questions, any requests, something that you would like to learn specifically or need a little help on, go ahead and ask in the comments below. I'll do my best to help you out. And if you've made any courses, you want me to check them out, honestly, I'm kind of waiting for someone to make a putt-putt course. I mean, you can do it on this game, and I think if it was done right, it would be pretty fun. And I mean, you could make them epic too, because you have the entire layout. Anyways, that's a totally different story. But I thank you guys for watching. I'll have another video coming up soon, and have a good week. Take it easy.